Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Cancer, Sun, Moon or Rising. It's a weekly reading for the week of October 7th to the 13th. So your cards this week, Cancer, you have the Boundaries Oracle card. We have the Death card, Seven of Cups, Nine of Swords, Seven of Swords, Six of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So I'm just going to start off by reading out your Oracle card here, Cancer, because I really feel like it does set up the theme for what we're seeing in the cards here. So boundaries, where do you need to establish better boundaries? You're being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family or work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal, but before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you're left feeling depleted, resentful or being taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those who with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they are able to give unconditionally. So I guess it's time, Cancer, for you to think about, if there's a situation that, you feel like you haven't established your boundaries. And through that, what I'm seeing here is that maybe somebody has been overstepping that mark. Somebody has been cashing in on that. Somebody has been taking advantage of that, because there are some people that even may be a little manipulative if they know that you are a yes person, and they can really use that for their own benefit, because they know that it only takes a certain amount of pushing before they can get you to do what they want, or get you to work those extra hours, or do whatever that thing is that they want from you. So because in the recent past here, it's pretty clear with that Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords and Seven of Cups here. So, that Seven of Swords energy can be that little kind of sneaky, deceptive kind of quality. It can be that person who knows that you don't establish strong boundaries, so they do kind of push it and they can manipulate that. That's what I'm really seeing from that Seven of Swords. It can be, it's a form of betrayal. And it can be just that sly energy. Somebody like literally, through them doing that, through knowing that maybe you don't establish firm boundaries and keeping on, getting you to do things or pushing you when you're in that space, they are literally stealing your energy. That's what we see here with that Seven of Swords. Or they could, have promised you a lot of things. This could be the kind of deceit. Maybe they just keep breadcrumbing you, or giving you hollow promises, or, we'll just hang in there, it'll be all good, and all these things that they, have been promised to bring into your reality. But, we can see here in that Seven of Cups that it is really like an illusion. It's like something's been held in arm's reach from you, and somebody might be just kind of stringing you along to get you to go along with a situation, so that, that they can really gain from that, is what I'm feeling here. So, this is a general reading, guys. Difficult to say what that situation is. It'll be different for all of you, but, it could be somebody in a relationship who, is even trying to, hang in there with you for financial reasons. It could be just that they, it's going to be hard for them to go off and find someone else, and so they're trying to manipulate you to staying in that situation. If it's a work situation, it can be that, that colleague that gets you to, carries more of the weight of the work, that type of energy. It's that slight deception, but I think it's somebody taking advantage of your good nature, maybe promising you, making hollow promises to you in order to do that. That's what I'm sensing with that Seven of Cups anyway. And, it's clear that has caused you a sense of anxiety. I think a lot of you have woken up to that, to the fact, at the start it could have been sort of all happening under the guise and you may not have realised it, but I think that you have woken up to the fact that perhaps there's a little bit of being taken advantage of. Your good nature is being taken advantage of, and through waking up to something like that, it can cause you a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. With that Nine of Swords, we also see somebody who's burnt out. Maybe, you really want to establish better boundaries in your life, but you're just unable to, and it's hard to push back. It's hard to say no. Sometimes if we're out of practice with that, we feel like we're the one that's doing something bad, or you can feel out of power by doing that. But essentially it is actually a way of gaining power, is to know what are appropriate boundaries and holding firm on them. Because we have that with the Death card, so this is a clear indicator that the situation as it is needs to end, needs to come to pass. And that Death energy has come in this week to help you clear that slate, to help you end that cycle. This is the end of, that being that sort of easily flexible, that pushover, that yes person. This is where the cycle needs to end, because the key for you to become, victorious, to become empowered again, is to change that way. And, some of you might even need to bring the situation to light with this person, maybe even have a conversation with them and, actually bring it to a head. And that could be, a great way for you to first, initially establish this sense of power for yourselves. If you don't feel comfortable to do that, maybe you just need to let that one go and realize that you won't let yourself be taken advantage of again. You won't find yourself in that situation again. With Death, it says that by ending the cycle, there is real growth on offer for you. That's the flower of alchemy. Growth, spiritual transformation. It promises you a new dawn that's much brighter if you can just, let go of the things that are no longer serving you and surrender to that process. Because that's the key to letting go of this kind of defeated energy that we see here in the Nine of Swords. And when you do that, it's all forward movement. I just wanted to show you these two cards here, side by side for a minute, Cancer. I mean, we're really going from death to rebirth here. It's very, very clear. And if you can trust in anything in life, it is the cycle of death and rebirth. It's the only thing that's kind of certain, is that we all go through those cycles. And we have to let things go, parts of ourselves, when it is time. And so we can keep on growing and evolving and becoming the best version of ourselves we can. That's what I really see here with these two cards. So what it's saying is that once you establish your boundaries, you let that situation come to a completion, this is what's on offer for you. All forward movement, becoming victorious, becoming re-inspired. We've got the Ace of Wands here. So this is the universe literally wanting to come in with new opportunities for you. But essentially before, you're probably clouded by all of this stuff, by all that situation. The Ace of Wands can be about getting your power back, your personal power. I'm really feeling that for this reading here. It's about becoming reinvigorated, getting your sense of purpose and passion back. So this is what's on offer for you by, bringing this situation to a head. We have the King of Wands here too, and the King of Wands is a really powerful visionary. He's an entrepreneur, a leader, a fiery leader. So this is the kind of energy that you can step into. King energy is also grounded, mature, dominant. He's an authoritarian. It's definitely not somebody who would be pushed around by anyone. It's almost the opposite of what you see there in the Nine of Swords. So I really feel like this is you moving into that energy after holding your ground. And that's what's going to lead to the sense of victory here that we see in the Six of Wands. So not only is this a card of victory, but it's also a card of being publicly recognized for that. So I think people are going to see this shift in you, and people are actually going to commend you on, it's really, what have you done differently? You just seem like to be in your power. You're going to have that sense of self-confidence and your head held high. You're literally going to take that Ace of Wands and run with it. I really feel like your whole personal power is going to change this week. Just keep in mind with those aces, they are the seeds of pure potential, so we do need to act on them in order to grow them, to keep moving towards a King of Wands reality. So that could mean, continuously doing some work on yourself to become better at saying no, to become better at establishing boundaries, and to be able to continuously step into your personal power. So that's what I see for you this week, Cancer. I wish you all the best with it. Don't be afraid to step up, to say no, and to establish better boundaries in your life, because that is the key to moving forward in a victorious way. So I wish you all the best with it, Cancer. Keep in mind it is a general reading, so it won't resonate for every one of you. Feel free to leave me a comment. I'd love to hear how it's playing out in your daily life, and I'll see you back here next week for another reading.